Leyline isn't purely white. I mean, it is. It's hard to say that it's not a white card, right? It's, you know, it is like only white decks can play it. You have to play white to play it. So I would even say yes, it's only a white card. White has Brimaz. It's not even close. Orvar is for the creativity matchup. Yeah, we're playing Death and Taxes today. Yeah, Fable the Beer Breaker. Definitely another good red card. Obviously, like, creativity, like, you know, it's crazy. Like, we list, like, the good red cards, and Downable Creativity is not even one of them. Although, you know, white also has, you know, Sigard's Aid, Pure Steel Paladin for that kind of stuff. Okay, the Gigantha Ragavan. I'll go to get my Sacred Foundry so that binding is a little bit discounted. So, because I might go like Sacred Foundry this turn into 2-drop on turn 2 into Indatha Triome turn 3 tapped and another 2-drop. Just red white. Yeah, I don't think that you could really make a case that like blue is better than white at this point. I don't know. Blue's I think the third best color, then green, then black probably. Yeah, Violent Outburst, another good red card. Oh, is this Domain Zoo? Again? Back to back? Different opponent this time, though. Giver of Runes. That's a gnarly hit. That's such a good pickup for my opponent here. I really don't want to play this Ballista. I don't want to have to play this Ballista and then kill the Ragavan and then not be able to Ballista Luminarch Aspirant. So I'm gonna do what no modern player has ever done in the history of this format. I'm going to intentionally decide to take a hit from Ragavan. I'm going to just be okay with getting hit by Ragavan for a turn. They are attacking with Giver? The disrespect. I literally can't believe they attacked with Giver there. That was intentional. I wasn't going to block the Ragavan. They're like, I could get a Ballista. So maybe this next turn, I binding the Ragavan while they're tapped out of Giver, and then I can go on turn 4, Ballista on 1, counter on Ballista with Idyllic Grange, Aspirant counter on Ballista could be my line. I'm intentionally letting Ragavan hit me. I can play Ballista on 1 and kill Ragavan. I can play Ballista on turn 1 and kill Ragavan. But instead, I'm choosing to make the Ballista more powerful down the line. So I didn't leave this back this time. We're dead to 2 Tribal Flames. They only have 2 cards in their hand. In GB Vegas, I got hit by Ragavan. I turned 1 Ragavan that was on the play 5 times, and I won the game. And they were like curving out and casting spells too. But eventually, I just resolved to Fairy Hero Dominarian 1. I was playing against Breach. Yeah, Grange is really nuts in the deck. I think you could play a third, but I've been relatively happy with 2 so far. Give Ragavan protection in response to the Luminarch Aspirant. Dude, my opponent has never played with the Giver of Runes before. I'm just gonna block. If they just attack, I'm just gonna block the Ragavan. I don't need to ping it right now. Nerb, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Red green, Tribal Flames me. I'm feeling pretty dead, chat. I'm feeling kind of dead. Okay, the two Tribal Flames was in their hand the last turn. It was their hand this turn. Fuck. I feel like if we're on to play that game's Little different. All right, let's sideboard the same way we did last time. Worked out last time. Thanks again, Derv, for the tier 1. Why not ping in response? I'm just gonna, the Ragavan doesn't do anything anymore, right? Like, if they remove my Ballista, I just kill the Giver, and then put response and protection, kill Ragavan. If they attack with Ragavan, I just block the Ragavan with the 3/3. If they give protection for colorless in response to blocks, then I ping. There's just like no reason to ping immediately, I think. Is this new deck looking good? It's putting up some results. I mean, listen, chat, it's like Merfolk's putting up results, Zoo's putting up results, this deck's putting up results. It's just, or I don't know, putting up results, sorry. This deck, we 4-1 our first league. We started off 8-0 yesterday with Mesmeric Orb combo. Modern is just a very open format at the moment. Modern is just a wide open format right now. My 2 losses Vegas. Scam, I was 1-1 against Scam. I lost to Burn also. Modern is just an incredibly open format. I think that the banning of Lurrus and Yorion really opened up deck diversity and improved gameplay a lot too. Why did Yorion have to go? Get out of here. Just kidding. Yeah, I preach it to the choir a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's, you know, still good to say this stuff. Where's my current go-to deck in Modern? I don't really have one. I'm like, you know, I'm out here brewing a ton and trying a ton of stuff. I started off 6-0 in Vegas with blue-white. I really like the mono-white restoration of a Ganja deck. I ended up ordering the cards I was missing for it, which was honestly like very cheap. Like I got like most of the deck for like that I was missing for like $50 for like probably like 25-30 cards. Not too bad. What is the worst deck that's really popular? So I'm not answering this question, but the most popular deck in Modern is Merfolk. Not really, but Merfolk has been so popular lately. Did I sign any cards in reserve list? I have never signed a card on the reserve list, and I kind of refuse to. The most expensive card I've ever signed is a full art foil Ragavan from Destructotron. And that one was even a special case. Okay, let's kill this. Which blue tribal deck do you think is seeing an increase in play? You may not say spirits. Illusions. I was sitting by. We know the judge call. How did that? They were able to reverse and fix the board state. It was really weird. Yeah, we told the story a couple times already actually. Deck for Philip. We posted in chat. I can take a look. Would I sign Voldaean War Machine? Is that a reserve list card? Then I would never ever sign it. Although, you know, maybe signing one, it couldn't hurt. I don't think I need to necessarily Solitude this. No, actually, I would prefer to keep like Thalia Giver going, and then I can get like double Sentinel Thalia going too. Yeah, bro does look pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited for this set. Do you have a pet deck I'm the most proud of popularizing? I love all of my pet decks equally. And I take no pride. I do everything I do on stream with complete humility. I take no pride, no credit, no joy from doing what I do. I just do so with complete and silent humility and respect. I felt Magic 30. I had a good time. I will say that there was definitely like, my impression from it was that there was no way that everyone could do everything at Magic 30, but there was just so much to do. It was cool. Yeah, imagine experiencing joy in your line of work. Pretty cringe if you ask me. Okay, I'd love to draw a land for Ranger-Captain. It's a land. Follow-up in tournament after seeing what the field played. Do you think you made the right call playing blue-white? The field was super open. I started off 6-0. I would have been able to double draw in the top 8 if like the one match just didn't unintentionally draw if there were 4 undefeateds going to the last round instead of 3, which is kind of frustrating. But I feel like it's a fine choice. I meant to play Green Red Breach though, and I just like couldn't find some cards, and I was rushing because I had all this travel ahead of me, so I ended up like I probably should have played Breach instead, or wanted to play Green Red Breach instead. There was also a Green Red Breach player that was like close to the top 8, near the top 8. I don't know how they ended up finishing, but there's a player on the deck that did well. Was that gonna be the beta draft top 8? It was, so that was to get top 32 for the event, which you have to like at that point you had to win 2 single elim rounds for the beta draft, but I digress. You think the blue-white version with Rin and 6 would be worth playing over the list and played in Vegas? So my opinion of that deck is that it is more powerful than like the list I played in Vegas, like for sure. The problem is that it is, in my opinion, a lot weaker to Rin and 6, and this definitely feels like an environment where, or sorry, not Rin and 6. It's a lot weaker to Blood Moon, and 5 of my 8 opponents at Vegas cast a Blood Moon against me. 3 of my opponents in my first league of yesterday's stream cast Blood Moon against me. The Blood Moon is just so common that I think that right now it's better to be more resilient to Blood Moon by not playing Rin and 6. But if Blood Moon becomes less common, I think that the more powerful version is the one playing Rin. The most powerful is Lucy. Sweet Lucy. Sweet Lucy. Sweet little Lucy Goosey. Is that worth including the whole Narset package as well? I wasn't playing the Narset package. I'm not a huge fan of it at the moment. Yeah, sleepy as always. Athena, hello Athena. Maybe the stream can say hi to you for the first time in a long time. Or maybe you'll just sit quietly to the side like you usually like to do these days. Yep. Oh, that's okay, Philip. Yeah, if a mod could redeem Philip's deck tech, then confirm in chat when you do. We got a dog named Athena. Yeah, we got another dog named Athena to compliment Lucy. No, honestly, like it's really good. The 2 dogs are like rubbing off on each other really well. Where like when we first got Lucy, she was like very shy and like very like nervous, and so like Athena's like definitely made Lucy like more adventurous, I think, and then Lucy's made Athena sweeter. As I also think that that's true. Okay, so I can go Idyllic Grange, counter on Thalia, Esper Sentinel, 3-mana Leyline Binding. Oh, sorry, Forge-Tender, 3-mana Leyline Binding. Forge-Tender to block this. No, so things are well over here these days. Do dogs like Esther or me better? I think that Lucy likes Esther more and Athena likes me more. But it's very marginal, if anything. Can I speak more in the Legendary Humans deck? Not really, I just died to it super fast. Not much to say. Okay, so let's block like this. And I'll probably take 3. Or like let them take the first move at least. So they're letting me draw a card. Did I really telegraph this binding that hard? I guess so. Pew Pew, 14 months, appreciate you. Oh, I guess not. Sorry, I thought for sure that if they're letting me draw 2 cards, they just had Stubborn Denial. I mean, I still think they're going to target this Thalia. Maybe they target the binding again. That would be fine. How's this deck going? We 4-1 to first league. This is our second league. We're down a game against Domain Zoo, which we did also beat last league. So why did they let me draw 2 cards? Do they have another binding? No, the other binding doesn't make sense. We don't have another Idyllic Grange in the deck, unfortunately. Although I guess we could have maybe played this to bluff one. Couldn't you exile the binding before it exiled Thalia? Oh, yeah, yes. Yes, that was definitely the best line. We have a Forge-Tender if they have Tribal Flames, although we're in, like, still very bad shape if they have it. How do you about the Triomes? I mean, they make deck building more fun, and they make card design worse. +1 counter on the Brawler fight. The counter is super annoying here. Okay, my opponent is like just straight up like down to give me as many cards as I want though. Wait, hold on. Does this not cost 3 mana? Weird. Why are they paying for Esper Sentinel? They didn't do anything last turn. They're just giving me as many cards as I want. They must have Tribal Flames. They must have Tribal Flames to the last card, right? They're just trying to get the Forge-Tender off the field first. But now I have a second Forge-Tender, which is huge. Also, the Giver of Runes is huge. Heliod. Everything huge, huh? Yeah, seems correct to play Heliod. Attack with the Thalia. Give protection from a red before blocks. I'd be fine if they want to chump block with their Nakato. Bimp, 27 months, thank you. I would personally give you as many cards as I want. I want 0 cards, so mission accomplished. Yeah, creature combat alert. We're doing creature combat in modern. Wow. I mean, I just have another Thalia. It's okay to get points. Yeah, can a mod refund Phillips 50k deck points? I don't know if we have any mods in the chat. Please, mods. We need you now more than ever. Wow, my Thalia's not even play for this. Easy game. Thank you, no beats. The mods came through in the end, huh? Lucy! Lucy! She loves when I say her name. Lucy! Astrid seems good for these games dragging out. I feel like it just gets outclassed. It's kind of slow, especially on the draw. Could be wrong. Yeah, unfortunately they got rid of Chance. Pointy Finger, 11 months, thank you. All this dog do is sleep, yeah. Hold on, Athena's like stretching back over here. Athena gets so jealous of the pets these days. But, you know, Athena being a husky and only child, she, like, for a long time was just, like, you know, kind of wanted to, like, leave me alone. But now she's a lot sweeter. I think I'm going to ending this. It's kind of close. What breed is Lucy? I think she's a pit bull mix. She's a little scrappy sewer dog that, that we found. Coffee's pretty good here. very behind here. It can be hard to catch up. They have 2 cards in their hands. Obviously, it feels bad to have double wear tear against the opponent who... We only boarded in 2, right? It doesn't not like well against their draw. We don't really want to draw 2 this early either. Might be double blocking. I don't know that I can just take 8. I don't know that I'm gonna have the option. Looks like they have Dramoka's command. Maybe I'll okay. They have Knight of Autumn. Alright, we're probably dead. Yeah, if we get Idyllic Grange counter block, we still take 6 and die. Okay, 4 and 2 on the day is not too bad. A 1-lander this game. We do have 3 1-drops and 2 2-drops. I'm gonna mulligan though. And then put back the Ballista because I can just grab one with the Ranger probably. Yeah, Dress Down does kill Kavu. Puts on a mull to 6. Have I considered the playing more lands? I had 23 in my list testing last night, and I got like flooded almost every single game, so I feel like 22 is probably a bit better. Binding? Yeah, Binding is like definitely not designed with Modern in mind, or if it was like way too efficient. It says they're on Song. Which the Thalia should be pretty good against. I like 24 in the style decks. I don't know. People say like this kind of stuff. These style of decks, like this, like if I'm talking like traditional Death and Taxes, I feel like your curve is probably a little bit higher on average. Where we have 1 4-drop, and like the Ballistas are kind of like 4-drops too. But you know, you basically have 3 4-drops. And everything else is 1, 2, or 3. I don't know. I don't know if we're like. I think you should compare the mana curves because like I'm talking about like green white Heliod. That's a very different. That's a very different formula too. I think the amount of binding will calm down as people adapt with Blood Moon. Maybe. I mean, the thing is like a lot of binding decks are just not that bad against Blood Moon. Some of them are worse. But like a lot of times binding just costs 3 mana against a Blood Moon, and then that's how much Blood Moon costs. You just like, you know, get that off the table. Alright, Thalia is probably nuts in this matchup. Prismatic Ending is not at all though. Yeah, the blue-white deck I played just really doesn't mind binding almost at all. Or doesn't mind Blood Moon at all. I mean, it can get you sometimes on the draw. Grape Shot. Okay, that's bad. Maybe I should have got the other Triome. Yeah, then I could have potentially binding. I was a little shocked by the Grape Shot, I guess. Or so not binding, ending the Song of Creation. They have about White of the Night Orchid as a way to get Triomes to enable binding and being good on the draw. Well, and being good on the draw is a little disingenuous when the reality is that card is only good on the draw. You know what I mean? Well, I like to commune with the spirits. So we're going to be bringing in the silences, Chalice on 0 probably, silence, wear tear. Wait, we'll concede once they get density of cards to win with here. Can be good on the play too if you simply miss a land. Yeah, I mean, I don't love the argument of this card is good if your draw is bad, you know what I mean? But you're not wrong. If your draw sucks, this card's pretty good. They're up to 10 cards in hand. Alright, let's go to Peckham. Don't think they can really fizzle at that point. Can bring in the Chalices, Wear Tears, Silences. Gonna get all the Solitudes. Ranger-Captain, or Captain of Eos, not Ranger. Ranger-Captain's pretty good. We can play 2 Ending. You can't Ending on 4 in this matchup. Probably one of your worst way to do so. Oh, maybe Forge-Tender is better than Ending to protect, like, Thalia from Grapeshot, or... I guess it doesn't protect it from Grapeshot that well. Yeah, Giver does a better job. It's only steps 1 copy. They might have some other red removal. They might have engineered explosives. Ending better than Giver. We have 4 Giver. I think Giver is better. Like protecting Thalia, I think is super relevant. Yeah, Modern is really wild right now. It's all over the place in a really good way, I think. 2 sideboard cards. I feel like just like with no pressure at all, it's very hard for me to keep that hand. Just 1 land, mulligan. Okay. I think I have to keep the... I think I have to put back the Silence. I know the Silence is pretty good, but... The reality is that, like, this is the combo, and it's a lot of pressure against my opponent, and that feels, I think, more relevant to me than... And this has a Silence on it, too. Brewing with Trickery was a mistake. It was a... Yeah. A mistake. That's what you call it. Okay, Thalia seems, like, insane here, so I'm gonna play it. Not that Ranger-Captain wouldn't also be very good. Drizzle, 25 months. Was cool to see in Vegas. I'm sure it was cool to see you, too. So diagonally opposite of you for Friday last round. Oh, dude, my brain was on fire. I have literally never been more exhausted in a in a Magic tournament than then. Okay, so I was thinking about this deck last night, and someone in chat suggested this when I was playing the Boros Stoneblade deck. When I was playing the Boros Stoneblade deck, someone in chat suggested Shivan Devastator as a 1-of target for Ranger Captain, and I think I dismissed it. And then last night, it was looking kind of good. I like a lot of times in the Boros Stoneblade deck, you really wish you had like some like big mana sink that you could get with Ranger Captain. You wanted some like top end threat. And Shivan Devastator is the 1 mana. It's 1x the dragon with flying haste X counters. It probably is not good. But it ain't sounding that bad either. Playing blue and long tree is mentally taxing, yeah. Figure of Death. See, I feel like the dragon's better. Just the haste is pretty nice. Could be wrong. Snapback. You may exile a blue card rather than pay a cost. Bounce a creature. Okay. Should be fine. Got a Thalia. We got to keep. I do think that was a net good for the deck. Yeah, I think that's, you know, it's always like power level versus consistency or versatility. It could end up surprising you. Does it have haste and trample, or just flying haste? If it's flying haste trample, maybe I'm into it. But if it's just flying haste, probably a little too weak. Ooh, amazing draw. Just flying haste, yeah. I don't know. It's probably like not that bad. Okay, so they're just using 2 cards to get 2 treasures here. Why does a flyer need trample in modern? Ledger Shredder. Okay, let's not play into Endurance. I already have a Ballista. I think I'm gonna get a Giver of Runes so I can protect my Thalia. Sure. Yeah, I've given up. This is a Death and Taxes deck, I guess. Yeah, we lost to Living in last league, and then we lost to Domain Zoo. We also beat Domain Zoo to 4-1 last league, so we're 4-2 on the day. It was also Benito Day on Living End, which like doesn't count. Doesn't count when it's Benito Day. Lucy, Lucy, Lucy. Just don't need to sack Ranger-Captain here, I think. With the Thalia in play, like, maybe they sack the treasure, play a 0-drop, draw 2 cards. Maybe they play another land. Maybe they play another 0-drop. But they're just going to be, like, done after that. Fuck. 4 cards in their hand. I think it's still fine to not sack right now. Since I can still sack and make them fizzle at any point during this turn. And then tear this. And I would much rather keep this in play to stop a future. Because remember, they have to discard their entire hand on their end step. It's a very good sideboard card. I mean, this is a great to let resolve. Oh, what if I had sacked the Ranger-Captain in response to the fetch? I mean, they can pay. They can pay. Probably supposed to sack soon. Yeah, she is real sweet. She's the nicest dog I've ever met in my entire life. I think I can still wait. Okay, now it's an easy sack. I like that I made them use their treasures. Oh, sorry, I needed to make them target me. Now I'm just taking 2 extra damage for no reason. That's okay. We're taking the 2 extra damage to save some time. So they discard their hand. They kill the Song of Creation. I play Giver, Sentinel. Probably going to put a counter on the Sentinel. Well, maybe it's best to like go like counter on Ballista plus Aspirant next turn. If they draw Song of Creation, I can get a 4th color and then ending it next turn. Okay, now we're definitely going to Grange to save the Sentinel. Grange is really good. I think I'm actually going to hold up the Leyline. Oh, no, I guess I don't need to hold up Binding, because if they draw Song of Creation, they have nothing to do. The next one I can go counter on Ballista, pump Ballista, hit 4, 7, 8. Oh, I guess if I attack with Giver, I have lethal next turn. I have lethal if I draw fetch. I'm not really sure how they get out of this anyways. With me having Binding. Should have made them pay first. I mean, they have no cards in their hand. It literally doesn't matter. So here, if they pay 3, they can't pop the explosives this turn. So they're just going to give me the card. It's fine. So no lethal this turn. I did draw Idyllic Grange. Kind of funny. Well, I guess I can now I have Wear Tear. I can still kill a Song, so you might as well do this, I guess. Not that I guess I necessarily need the able to kill Song right now. Do I still like Wilder Strike? How would I build it? I mean, I would play Binding. And so I think I want to play Shadow Prophecy in Rec 2. I'm obviously like super high on Shadow Prophecy these days, but what I like about Shadow Prophecy is it just dumps so many cards out of your deck, and so you'd start taking infinite turns with Nexus way faster. But I would basically be playing... I think I even started to build it. Hold on. I don't know. Binding is just like insane. You just put it in every deck, I guess. Okay, puts it on to 6. Oh, we're playing against Pablo. Pablo plays a lot of Jeskai Ascendancy combos. This hand's actually pretty good against this. Against that. I'll just cast Shadow Prophecy. I mean, I haven't rebuilt the mana. I don't know. This is a draft. This is not a deck ready to go on stream. All these spell-based combo decks today. Modern is all over the place. Okay, you would change the mana. Isn't it weird that Binding's in a monocolor deck? I don't know. Binding's nuts. This is already a deck that wants to play a lot of fetch lands. Listen, I just built the deck, so I'm not here commenting on Reddit about how Leyline Binding was ruining Modern. I'm a deck builder, not a Reddit commenter. Okay. You're playing back for Prophecy is push better than Bold. It just seems really hard to have black mana on turn 1 and Counterspell and Rin in 6. And like white mana for turn 2 Binding. But you could. Like, you could probably do it. They talk about that Saga, Tutorable, Bug, just enchant. Yeah, that card's good. Like that card a lot. Yeah, I don't think I would say ruining the format. It's a very good removal spell. It's still also just a removal spell that like you can disenchant. Listen, I'm just here building the decks. You guys can comment on Reddit. What am I getting with the Ranger-Captain? Probably another Sentinel. Ooh, Splash Shadow Prophecy in the deck. Easy. Okay, so if they play Just Guys Didn't See, I think I just immediately sack the Ranger-Captain. I don't let them cast anything. Probably just because I'm a little scared. Unlike the last enchantment-based combo deck we played against. Aw, Lucy. A yawn for the camera. Lucy. I do like at least one Bolted Wreck as a retrace finisher. Yeah, I mean, you can also... Fire Ice also accomplishes the goal. Goodbye, Lucy. Goodbye. I was trying Prophecy in the Pile of Fires deck. Yeah, I've been building some Pioneer mana bases and domain decks. I don't know. It kind of feels... I don't know that you can necessarily just play a 3-mana draw spell in Pioneer, because like Shadow Prophecy is so much better in like fast combo decks in Modern and decks with pitch elementals in Modern, where you can get away with the draw spells. But you might be able to get away with it. Okay, we'll see if they pay. They do not pay, so let's stop them from doing anything else. Okay, so I think because we have a second Binding available, it seems kind of good to just Binding right now here. Right here, right now. And then... do I want to play around my opponent having second Ascendancy plus combo here? It's probably doesn't cost us that much to play around that. You said you played against Legendary Humans. Yeah, I died super fast. There's a new card that looks great in that deck. I'm gonna be playtesting that some. I'm gonna be doing a lot of playtesting Pioneer off stream. Maybe I'll play some on stream, but for the most part, I just want to work on my Lana deck off stream and then circle back. We 4-1 the first league. 4-1 the first league, so we're 5-2 on the day, which is pretty good. Is Coco too slow for the deck? I mean, you'd have to go up a land. You would have to probably cut a removal spell, cut the Thalia. But you could play it. Love to draw a fetch land, have 1 mana Binding. Another Ranger-Captain should be fine, though. I think I'm even down for just more Esper Sentinels. Giganta time, excuse me. Taylor and Severus is legal Pioneer. It's not. We're playing Modern right now. This is Modern. This is Modern. Sorry to confuse. Okay, I think I probably want to Binding the Gigantha. Play Luminarch Aspirant. Sentinel. Prioritize getting Esper Sentinel up to 3 power so they attack through the Caryatids going forward. Most of these cards are Pioneer legal. Ranger-Captain, Esper Sentinel, the Fetch Lands, Abundant Growth, Serum Vision, Manamorphose, Canopy. What is my opponent getting? Anger of the Gods, probably, or something like that? Or like Deafening Clarion? I mean, if they get Deafening Clarion or a 3 damage sweeper, they just kill all of their Caryatids. I might just be okay with that. If they just get an Ascendancy, I mean, they're just dead if they get Ascendancy. Plains is legal, yeah. This card is legal. They used to play this card in Pioneer, though, when Heliod was legal. Oh, the art? I've never really looked at Idyllic Grange art. It's actually stunning. What the hell? Every hero's journey starts somewhere. Wow. I've never like taken a look at the art before, really. It's beautiful. Yeah, Gigantha is very powerful in Ascendancy being a mana dork. I don't think I'm sacking this Ranger Captain. If they get Deafening Clarion, wipe the board, kill all their Esper Sentinels, they're getting Wear Tear. Okay. It's a problem. I think I like sacking this now, so when they Wear Tear on my turn, I get to draw 3 cards. Could be wrong about that. They also make their Caryatids 1/4s. Do you like the new 1-mana white exile spell? I think it'll see Pioneer play. I'm not sure if it'll see much play outside of Pioneer, though. Oh, they can pay, but because there's Caryatids on tap, right? Pablo is so cracked. I've played against this player a few times. They're really, really good. Did I draw a card already? Did they pay? I can't really tell. I guess I just play another Aspirant, hope that they brick. Knowing Pablo, no bricks. Washway, thank you Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Cabin 10 months, thank you. Brain Trespasser on turn 3 is like pretty good. I mean, yeah, the card's fine, but you have to play all planes. There's some decks that can afford to play all planes. There's some decks that can't. Okay, I like that that's not a cantrip. Thalia's not too bad here, but it's definitely not slowing them down as much as you might like. Okay, they discarded a Fate Stitcher. That's something, although it's not like they're missing, creatures. If they fizzle this turn, we do have Ending. They cycle Triome, so, their new card really needs to be a cantrip. It has to be a cantrip. It can't be just like a bolt or something. Lost Street Twitch Prime, Cabin with a 10. We thinking about black-white taxes with Charming Prince and Prototype Creature. I don't think I'm ever thinking about black-white taxes, but could be something. Could be more than nothing, could be less than something. I am definitely not a huge Charming Prince fan. Do I want to have Grange up here? I feel like it would be a good Grange turn. So I go Sentinel, then Ending. Maybe, I guess I go Thalia first. But then what if I want to instant speed? No, just Ending now. No. We're going to play the Thalia first. Final answer. Wait, do they ever play Spell Pierce in the main? Okay, let's play around Spell Pierce. I'm sorry, I know I'm waffling so back and forth. I haven't played against Ascendancy since the last time I played against Pablo. How did my opponent not... So they're holding, just trying to combo off next turn. I'm shocked that they have a Manamorphose, though. I'm shocked that they just have that they have it in their hand somehow. Keep game with that. I was intentionally playing around Spell Pierce. Could be a card that Pablo would main deck. They made a decision to hold. Yeah, I think it's fine. You could like buff these in combat on defense. This will have been the third Ascendancy. Oh no, sorry, it's the second one. This is the third time I'm exiling one, but they just got one back that I bindinged earlier. Yeah, Modern is just so open, it's insane right now. Like just look at the decks we've played against today. I'm trying to remember all of the matchups. It's been like... Well, match 1 was weird. What was match 1? Come to MagicCon Philly. I can't go back to Philly. I have active warrants. Those amazing. That was the first one of this league. I'm trying to remember all of them. It was like... Yeah, I can't remember what all the matches have been. They've been so weird. Which one with Philly? Yeah, my active warrants. Alright, won that game. So we played against Domain Zoo twice. We played against Promise combo. What's that? I can have a Song of Creation combo, Jeskai Ascendancy combo, Mill, 4-color control, Merfolk. I think that's it. Maybe there's one more deck. Okay, Wear Tears. Chalice of One's good enough to bring in for sure. Silences. No Solitudes for me. Cut the Ranger. Probably cut 2 endings. We have too many answers probably. This is fun. Oh yeah, Living In. Yeah, we lost Living In too. Very diverse, weird field. Orb combo for today. I'm planning on playing a league of Orb combo either today or tomorrow. So either after this league, or maybe I'm just having a lot of fun with this, and we'll just play this today and then start off with Orb combo tomorrow. But I do want to kind of ride the momentum from yesterday's stream also. So we'll just see. Play it by ear a little bit. Ever I played Fortnite? How much do I need to donate for a 4-time stream? $10,000, and I've also never played. I guess. Deal. All right. We'll do a Fortnite stream for 10K. I will counter donate 10K. Yeah, that's also on the table. You can counter 10K. I'm down to throw money at it. Please use your money on something else. Please use your money on literally anything else. How much for uncounterable Fortnite? 20K. I've never played. I've played other shooters. I played Apex and PUBG and obviously Call of Duty, you know. I really like Luminarch Aspirant into Sentinel. It's a very fun curve to have. Bloodborne stream? Yeah, I've only played a little bit of Bloodborne. I don't know, like when Elden Ring came out, I was really stoked to beat Elden Ring. I haven't beaten Demon Souls or Bloodborne. I'm like I was maybe like 5 or 6 hours into Demon Souls, but when Elden Ring came out, and then I was like, okay, we'll just play Elden Ring for a bit, and then I haven't gotten back into it. But then I played Persona 5 for a long time after that. Persona 5 was awesome, and now I'm like waiting 1 week for God of War Ragnarok to come out. Very excited for God of War Ragnarok. Is there an Akatsuki skin? Well, with 10k, we can probably get an Akatsuki skin. PS5 has both of those? Yeah. Yeah, I own both of them. I just haven't played them, you know. I play Magic the Gathering instead. Yeah, yesterday Esther's like, "You want me to get you God of War for Christmas?" And I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard. Like I would ever wait until Christmas. Would wait like a month and a half for God of War Ragnarok. Oh, Esther's in the chat. I don't know what you want me to say. There was no way that was ever gonna happen. Okay, so let's go Ballista, Thalia. I don't know if lethal do. Okay, there's conceding. Caught in 4K, and it would be actually impossible for me to not get spoiled for the game if I waited. Could stack combo. I didn't have enough mana to combo. I didn't have enough mana to play Heliod, play Ballista on 1, activate Heliod. Okay. Time is it. Scam time. Hopefully our binding doesn't get Thoughtseize next turn. Did we lose match? Yes, we lost the first match this league to Domain Zoo, which is also, we already played that matchup earlier, but we did win last match. I really hope we don't lose to Blood Moon. Okay. A fate worse than death, getting hit by Raugrin one time. There's a binding. So what if I just get planes, cast Ballista on 1, so I can block Fury, ping Ragavan. Loses to removal spell really badly. Yeah, I just need to binding the Fury. We're on the draw. Ryan, 14 months, thank you. Yeah, losing the Blood Moon is tough, but my opponent has 1 mystery card. I too like losing the Bolt when my opponent has 1 unknown. Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time, huh? Yeah, I agree. I feel like a removal spell feels somewhat likely because they don't have a land. So that, you know, it's either a creature removal spell or Blood Moon. You could probably consider Blood Moon to be a threat, though. Oh, I consider Blood Moon to be a threat, Spike. Okay, take it 2, down to 7. Next turn I can maybe go like Giver, Aspirant, counter on the Giver, so I have a 2-3 in play. Don't really mind that Esper Sentinel too much. Yeah, and before freaking Spell Pierce. I played Grixis Scam before. Maybe it's better to Giver Ballista. I want a Ballista on the turn I can get a counter, though. That's also true, like, the earlier you play Aspirant, the better it is. But definitely liking Aspirant a lot. Obviously, it's got a lot of synergy in the deck with Sentinel and Ballista. It's just also like you don't want to find 2-drop in a format with no good 2-drops. You wouldn't scam me twice in the same game, would you? Seems like they are. Seems like they are. They did pitch Ragavan. They have a mystery card, though. I don't have my giant killer in the deck right now, as this is game 1. Another Ragavan! Dang. I have no cards in hand. They have another Sentinel, though. Jeez. Oh, Spike! Heliod Ballista! Spike! Just Heliod Ballista. Yeah, I guess I'm dead. Ballista on 2, block here, ping. No, I got a 1. I got a 1. 1's not 0. All day today, I have Heliod and Ballista at the same time, and chat's like, we did it. We can combo. We did it. We death and tax them. This thing to go to 1, so I can't like Ranger-Captain Ballista, counter on Ballista. I guess the sequencing wouldn't actually work on that anyways. Okay, so we go to 1, which is not 0. They have 1 card in their hand. He's his dead card. It becomes undead when we gain life with Heliod. You could give her, right? Maybe I could get Sentinel. Sentinel, if they have Terminate, I could draw Solitude. I guess just what's nice about Giver is that I can block the Esper Sentinel with the Giver, and then potentially just use this to like draw any other creature and use this to protect. Also, notably, like I could like keep the Ranger caps around so I could like have Heliod be a creature as another line if I draw 1 drop. A deck tag for Dave, post a link in chat. I can take a look. Pioneer Fiddlebender. Boy, is the curve on this deck high! It is so high! You're literally just Fiddlebenders away from Karuga. Which is not a compliment exactly, but it is true. Your curve is way too high. It's way too high. You do not need if for Fiddlebender to be good, your deck has to be just full of unplayable Autonomous Assembler that's good to sacrifice into a 6-drop. 4 copies of unplayable Combustible Gearhulk. 4 copies of a good card. Combat Thresher is fine. This card is a card I'm not unhappy to play. 2 copies of Cityscape Leveler. 2 copies of Suchi Cave Guard. This card is awesome for sure, but your curve is just way too high. It's like way super unreasonably high. For a deck that's like reliant on, alright, I just have to untap with my 2-mana 2/2, and then I have to resolve this, and then I probably have to like wait a turn because I go 2-drop, 3-drop, I have to wait till I can sack. It's just not a good strategy is my main point. Alright, come on, Sanctifier, you're off the bench. You're off the bench. I think I also want the giant killer. I think, especially on the play, Binding is actually like just not that good against Rakdos. We have so many good creatures that block Ragavan. I think I'm down to cut the 4th Heliod also. Could cut 3rd Thalia. Could cut 4th Aspirant. Let's do that instead on the play. Scrap Welder also seems pretty weak. Like on turn 3, it's going to be pretty difficult to have something in the yard. The deck's very slow. You have no removal besides these Touch the Spirit Realms, which are kind of cute. You're playing too few lands. So I would scrap the Madcaps. I'd scrap the Nahiris. I would be playing. You could like play 4 of this card, 4 Combat Threshers, and then play like 1 Cityscape Leveler, and maybe also 1 of these 2. And that's all you really need. I don't think you also need to like get this 9-drop after that. I think you need to get the curve much lower with like 4 portable holes. Maybe you want to play the the implement, the white implement that's going to allow you to sack into Fiddlebender or Scrap Water for value. You just have to get this curve much, much, much lower. The prototype cards keep the lower mana cost. Okay. This also doesn't work. They keep the mana cost, apparently. Okay, that was my thoughts. Sorry. You cut your ending, not binding? Yes. Maybe I misspoke, but Prismatic Ending is the card that's not that good against Rakdos. It's good against exactly Ragavan. We don't really need to answer Blood Moon in this deck. Obviously, we could, but it's good against exactly Ragavan. It's okay against Voidwalker. We have other removal spells. We just don't need it. Destructotron for the 5-pack. Thank you, thank you. Just daily 5-pack. Anything you want to say? Try to give stuff for Destructotron. Thank him. Getting scammed again. Come on, Sanctifier en-Vec, Forge-Tender. Ace of Spades with the 15. Thank you. I mean, them keeping the prototype CMC is like, certainly intentionally to stop, players from abusing them this way, right? Into Thoughtseize. Yes. And left and right. I think that created just because they had Blink Enchantment. Well, the Blink Enchantment was probably like just another way to cheat those cards, right? But just not a good strategy. Ace of Spades again, thinking 15. Okay, down to 11. Not the highest life total I've ever been at. So am I getting Forge-Tender or am I getting Giant Killer? I guess Giant Killer, I get to like cast it, put it into play next turn. Any changes back to Luxior combo? Yeah, I want to play Mox Amber, some number of members. Not really sure how many. Yeah, you have to give a speech every 5-pack. I have seen the Retro Mox Amber. I'm pretty excited to get my hands on one. All right, good draw, good draw. Sometimes you get scammed. We have some outs though. Like that one. But do you really want to keep playing a game where a Ragavan hits you? Not me. A Ragavan on an open field. I think I leave this uncracked so I can like put 2 counters on something. They hit Giver. These Ragavans have been nuts. Ah, man. Giver's like easily the best hit, right? Maybe not. Probably is. So now they get to, just keep getting the Ragavan through. We're not out of it yet. What's your brew day and decide to play Murktide, weaken it? No, come on! Please give me a break! Damn it. Give me a break. Monkey on the hard carry. Yeah. Indeed. So I need to draw Ballista, Heliod. Heliod's pretty good. I just get to gain a lot of life. Oh, they exiled my Idyllic Grange. Exiled my Grange, so I no longer have the second Grange to fetch. As if Ragavan hadn't done enough, huh? That's not a bad draw, though. Not that I can get my Idyllic Grange. So just main phase this now, while they don't have Double Giver up. Put the counter on the Sentinel. Leave back a creature so I'm not just dead to removal spell. Do you think Blood Moon is a must-have in Murktide 75? Probably for like literally right now, but it's I think it's also probably going to be on the decline soon, where Blood Moon is just like a meta shaping card at the moment. I think people are starting to play more and more around it. I think it would be fine to. I think I still like main decking a couple copies, but I think pretty soon that's going to change. I imagine a shift is in the air. Dude, Homeward Path would be nuts against Ragavan. It'd be also nuts to win this game. Definitely seems like they've drawn a couple bricks in a row, which is obviously something we needed to have happen. And they're getting a plains off the top of my library. Ragavan was the good guy all along. We're drawing a brick. No way. Well, it is always, I guess, somewhat inevitable that if I'm going to complain, I'm going to win. Not that it's over yet. We're dead to Bolt, dead to Croxa. But isn't it even a win if you take as much psychic damage as we did this game? Yeah, dead to, or if they could hit a Solitude. Let's go. Let's fucking go, dude. How do we win that game? They turn one, scammed my Sentinel with the Fury, thoughts used my answer to Fury, hit me like literally 5 times with Ragavan. 4 or 5 times with Ragavan. Hit 2 Giver of Runes off the first 2 Ragavan hits. Let's go. I still have just so many turn 1 cards that block a Ragavan. I don't think I want the endings. You can play an ending on the draw. Put 1 on the draw. Aspirant's always so much worse in the draw too. Yeah, can we draw a Sanctifier? Although it's maybe just get scammed, right? I can't believe we won that game. It's so nuts. Obviously, like as soon as I start complaining, our win percentage always goes up, up, up. Okay, gonna keep. They literally didn't draw a spell for 5 turns. Yeah. But up until those 5 turns, they didn't draw a spell. Things were looking pretty bad. Also, you don't know that. They may have drawn Feign Death. Malika Rebirth. I think because they didn't play Ragavan turn 1, I'm probably okay to just get a Triome down. Here they have Voidwalker. How much do I care about binding Voidwalker? Maybe a little bit. I think we just pass with binding up and then see what happens. Did you see my friend because he complains and still loses? Well, the key to just complaining and then winning is to do it in front of an audience. Because that way you look, you know, bad. I just want to go triple 1-drop. I guess that's pretty bad. And the Hidden Sugu consumes all. I think that's okay. Can't be afraid of monsters in the closet. That's a lot of Voidwalkers. A lot of Dothy Voidwalkers, huh? Notably, Heliod is a creature here. Not if they terminate my Giver, though. Can probably erase this. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. A binding would be nice. Solitude would be nice. Could potentially like gain life with Heliod next turn. It would also be really nice to be able to not have to get a Ballista here. We can tap with Giant Killer. Yeah, but if we tap with Giant Killer, we can't. It's 2 mana to tap, so we're just not doing anything else with our mana. So that seems like at least not the right line this turn. Like I just need to draw another land, really. I guess I need to get Ballista, so I can kill a Voidwalker next turn, potentially, and then just not be dead. And then I can attack with the Forge-Tender. I guess I can attack with this too. When am I playing the 5 kind of legend deck I tweeted about? I think I'm pretty unlikely to play like much Pioneer on stream until like Atlanta happens, but we'll see. I also have to work on the list because I didn't see one. I just like died super fast to Joda. Joda seemed like unreal. Also that deck is going to get a big upgrade with this new Gruul legend that just got printed. It's a 2-mana 3/3, the sack to like give legendary creatures, I think, indestructible +1/+0. Seems pretty good. Okay, land for turn. So we have some options, obviously. We can go Heliod, Lifelink, Ranger-Captain. This is really bad against Terminate, exactly Terminate. We beat Fatal Push. We beat Lightning Bolt because we have the Forge-Tender. We get to gain 4 life because we could put a counter on the Ranger-Captain. That seems fine. And then we can shut up to win next turn. Another line is the most scared line ever, which is Ballista on 1, Idyllic Grange, counter on Ballista, kill a Voidwalker, tap a Dathi Voidwalker. I think my opponent's already used 1 Terminate. They have like 2 or 3 in the deck. I think that I'm just gonna not take the most cowardly line in the land. I guess another line we could have taken is counter on the we could lifelink the Forge-Tender. Lifelink on Forge-Tender does play around Terminate here. Cool. Yeah, I think this deck is sick. I think this deck is genuinely good. The second time I've said that about a mono white deck in Modern in the last couple weeks. But white is also great color. Modern is super open. I've been saying this like literally since Image 2 came out too, that like Heliod players need to work on the deck and innovate on it, and I just haven't like worked on it till now. But and also like Binding was like definitely a big upgrade that just got printed. So, but you could also have played this deck when March was legal. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's Binding. Yeah, actual Ranger of Eos. We haven't cast it yet, but I think the first copy is fine. Okay. So just cast Ballista on 1. Go to combat. They're dead if they do nothing, and then they're dead at instant speed also. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get back-to-back 4/1s. That would be pretty poggers. Like, the way this deck works is you have 4 Heliods, and every single other card in your deck is just good. With, you know, the exceptions of, like, Aspirant being kind of mid, I guess, and then Ballista being, you know, maybe somewhat mid as well, but everything else is just like a white staple, you know? I think you have a 2-card combo with the ability to 2-drop with Ranger-Captain. Okay, we're up against Kihira here. I'm going to keep a Thalia on the play against Kihira. Reaper, 16 months. GG, do a lot of Renzo. Yeah, I was so scared game 2. You started off so crazy game 2, and you had 2 givers in a row off Ragavan. It's crazy. Stream Decker seems to be missing Wear Tears. Oh yeah, I ended up cutting the marches for Wear Tears, and that changed the mana a little bit this morning. Try to get that updated. Like I meant to do that as I was going to bed. I was like, I'll do that in the morning, and then I forgot until right before the stream. Oh, it looks like I deleted the marches and the Wear Tears didn't make it in. Okay, we really need to draw an untapped land. We have 3 tap lands we could draw into. Uh-oh. Reaper? Oh, sorry, Reaper again. 16. Which Saga scores the highest in the fun to good ratio? I really like the mono white Restoration Saga deck that we were playing 2 weeks ago. A lot of. I think the deck's really good. Harry MTG also played it and liked it a lot. Just, you know, solid, good deck. Oh yeah, Dino Tribal. Those were the days, huh? Those were the days. They were definitely days, maybe not the days. So we beat 4 color control earlier. This is definitely more 4 color. Ooh. David, 8 months, thank you. We can Prismatic Ending this, but they're pretty likely to have a counter spell. I mean, literally no matter what we do this turn, we are cold to a counter spell, so let's try to at least, like, take the highest upside play. Yeah, I was not expecting to besiege you either. Seems like they're splashing for Red and 6. Togo, thank you for the raid. Hope you're doing well today. Appreciate you. We're currently 7-2 on the day with mono white Heliod combo. I don't think we're going to be down a game against control here. Is ending not affected by Thalia? You can't ending for 1 with Thalia in play, but ending for 2 and 3 is not affected by Thalia. So that way, like, Thalia is, you know, has very small, if any, real downside here. I mean, I'll cast another Ranger-Captain. Grab a Ballista. We could potentially, like, wiggle our way and cheese a win if we draw super perfectly. So to win all in one turn, we need a fetch land and 7 mana. So yeah, if we draw a fetch land or an Idyllic Grange next turn, and my opponent lets me start my turn with Ranger Captain, and they don't have Solitude, which is a lot of things going right, obviously, we could win. 9 mana? No, so say 9 without the Grange. 9 without the Grange, 7 with the Grange. Lucy, you're supposed to watch the stream. Okay, so let this binding resolve so that we can maybe binding a binding. You know, it is not very common that you win after Jace the Mind Sculptor gets to brainstorm this many times. I'm not gonna just go for it though. The version without Fiddlebender I ended up thinking was the better Fiddlebender deck. Okay, this is actually fine. So I can play around a counter spell and not a white based removal spell, but I can go resolve Heliod now. Next turn, cast Ranger Captain. If all of their interaction is just one counter spell, we could win, but that's fairly unlikely. But enough for me to just go through the motions of trying to combo next turn and then see what happens. They have to sage you? Oh, right. I'll concede then. I forgot what to besage you. Okay, I'm going to go down to, I think, 1 or 2. I was kind of waffling between the number of Solitudes and Endings post-board. I think we'll do 2 Ending, 3 Solitude. Could also could play a Silence. I like the idea of a Silence on the play, then on the draw, maybe one more Answer to Rin is good. Maybe on the play, another Answer to Rin is good. Let's have Thalia on the play against Rin. Besieger's win. Yeah, they just killed the Ballista in response. The Ballista beats the Besieger. Could you check for Heliod twice? No, I didn't have enough mana. Oh, sorry, I would have had enough mana to do that, but not also Ranger Captain sack. But I guess if my opponent has literally nothing besides the Besieger in like 6 cards plus a Brainstorm, then sure. But I was mostly just banking on being able to beat counter spells. Control's the hardest matchup for Heliod. Maybe. We beat it game 1. You know, we're an Esper Sentinel Thalia deck. But yeah, maybe. I remember it used to be really bad because like they just didn't care about infinite life, but this is not a deck that is gaining infinite life. And we have the nuts, which is Sentinel into Luminarch Aspirant. Why mono white if I'm running the domain package? Tell me what cards you would play differently. Coco? You can play Coco. To play Coco, however, like what are you cutting to make room for Coco? Because you need to add at least one land, maybe two. You're obviously cutting the Ranger, Thalia. Then you need to cut like 2 removal spells. You could play Collect a Company. I guess we bottomed this. But I also don't think Coco is like unreasonably good in this deck, where like you only have 2. You have 8 3-drops to hit, and then you're cutting the Thalias to make room for Coco. So you have 4 aspirants. Yeah, I don't know that this is just an absurd Coco deck, but you could play it. Is the Idyllic Grange new? The green-white version didn't play it because they maybe could have supported it, but they didn't play it. But you know, I'm sure I'm not the first person to ever play a version of this deck playing Idyllic Grange. It's not like the hardest deck to figure out because like they played it in Pioneer. We're just drawing cards with the Sentinel, huh? Alright, so let's get our Jeskai Triome, or sorry, Indatha Triome. And then I think the best line is going to be Sentinel, Idyllic Grange, counter on the Sentinel, then play Heliod while my opponent's tapped out. But yeah, you could play Coco. You could. I also really like the Thalias, I'll say. I think the Thalias are really good. Opponent's obviously going to be somewhat nervous about like tapping out for something and then just dying to Ballista. So here we're just going to attack the Teferi. I think I'm probably supposed to jam the Ranger Captains because if my opponent counterspells the Ranger, so Ranger, not just Ranger of Eos, not Ranger Captain, I can Idyllic Grange the Sentinel again to draw a card. I can also do it in response to a counterspell too. Run the Phoenix Challenger deck for Pioneer. Can use iteration even though it's banned. But you don't get 4 Phoenixes, do you? You don't get Legend Shredder. I think it's our first time casting the Ranger. We're just playing 1. I think the first copy's fine. Okay, so I don't have to Idyllic Grange to get a card, so I think I'm going to save the Grange for later. This Esper Sentinel card count 3. Could potentially get a Triome end of turn. We'll see. Could you make a modern subformat with no fetch lands? Would any cards in the ban list be unbannable? Yeah, there would be a few cards that would not be bannable. Sensei's Top, Astrolabe, Deathray Shaman. It would, you know, this is the kind of idea that's usually like, I'm bored, let's do something, which is, you know, like fair enough. So I play Thalia. We'll see if they counter. I'm a little bit worried that they have Solitude this turn, but what I'm going to do is counter on the Sentinel here. I can attack with the Sentinel, and if they go Solitude Thalia, I get to put a counter on the Sentinel from the Heliod trigger, so I don't think I need to worry about that. If they Subtlety, I have a 3-mana Binding. How's the card playable with bans? So they've done this a few times where they'll print a card in an intro deck. So in this example specifically, Expressive Iteration was in the Phoenix intro deck they printed for Pioneer. And they want people to be able to buy an intro deck to Pioneer and play like an FNM, right? So you're allowed to play that exact list, but if you play anything besides that list, you can't play Iteration. So you can cut the iterations first and start building the rest of the Phoenix deck, but you can just pick up and play as the, you know, the goal. So if they target Heliod, I could sack Ranger Captain to save Heliod. I don't know that I necessarily would want to. I probably would. They're targeting the Ranger Captain, so we'll just let that trigger happen, and then resolve a Heliod trigger. Counter on the Sentinel. Yeah.
What do you want for lunch that I can go pick up?
I'm not very hungry. I had the big breakfast, so you can just forget me.
Okay.
Although if where you're going has like a coffee or a soda, I'll take that.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie. Dang it. I was really liking my spots. My opponent also has only one card in their hand. So I think I'm supposed to go for it, right? Obviously, they're a... Okay, so do I play around a removal spell by just chilling? Yeah, I don't think there's really much reason to do anything right now. So they have to have exactly Leyline Binding as their last card. Good beats. We're thinning. Are they dead? Yes. No, my bindings cost 2. So my bindings cost 1. I could go binding, turn on Heliod, activate Heliod on Thalia, put the life Heliod counter on Heliod, deal exactly 9. So I mean, I think it may be a problem to just like spew all of my resources here to still 9. No, I'm counting 8. I'm counting exactly 8, right? It's 8 with Aspirant. I was counting the point for it's 8 with Aspirant. Binding on Thalia. No, you can't binding your own permanents, but that would not accomplish anything either. No, it's 9. You get a counter. Chat. I'm counting the counter. This is 1 counter with Aspirant. 8, and I can't lifelink for the 9th point. Yeah, this is Summoning Stick. I just cast this. I'm going to put them to 1. I'm going to put them to 1. First strike. I don't have enough mana to lifelink the Thalia because the Thalia is making the binding cost more. That was the whole thing. On 1 mana short. That was the whole thing. So but that being said, my opponent needs to draw exactly Supreme Verdict this turn, I think. I don't think there's anything else. No, okay. Yeah, on the draw, I think I want another answer to Ren, so we'll bring in this. Tony Scaponi, thank you for the raid. Appreciate you guys. Welcome everybody from Tony's stream. Welcome, welcome. It was a cool turn, though. Cool game so far. I'm definitely liking the deck. We're currently 7-2 on the day with Mono White Heliod, playing for 8-2. Hope of Ghirapur Ranger Captain. That doesn't tingle my spidey sense. I think Hope of Ghirapur stinks. It's maybe better than I think. It's definitely better against Cascade decks. I guess you keep this. I don't love to have double Wear Tear, but it's hard to mulligan in this matchup, and turn 1 Sentinel is definitely something you want in this matchup too. So if they go Rin and 6 ping the Sentinel, no green mana here. I think there's I don't okay, they're just gonna ending. Okay, ending. That pause was kind of weird. I don't know if they thought they could cast Ren. Maybe I'm probably reading a little too much into it. Definitely hope they have Leyline Binding, because these Wear Tears are going to be quite bad otherwise, although they just passing back here. Alright, so let's just play the Thalia. I don't think that I'm really wanting my Heliod to get countered. Obviously, the earlier you play Thalia, the better. Gets countered, big sad. They also don't have the ability to cast a binding if they have one. 3 mana. Domain here. Could get countered. Does get countered. Our hand's pretty bad. Definitely need some help. I don't know if they missed a land drop on purpose. They could have maybe accidentally skipped through a turn. And they just Kahira here. And I drew the third freaking Wear Tear. That doesn't feel very good. I'm just gonna cast my Ballista and do something with my mana against an opponent who's stumbling. But one problem is like the cards we're cutting are pretty bad. Like the first Wear Tear is pretty good to draw. It's just not super good to draw this many copies. We should maybe have the fourth Thalia in the sideboard. Could see that being fine. Opponent's hand is Kahira, 2 mystery cards. Sorry, 4 mystery cards. Shocking and Breeding Pool is kind of shocking to me. Pitch Solitude. Wouldn't have expected that either. Guess we just double ping. Yeah, Thalia's been really good today. We could maybe main deck the fourth one even. Probably would rather have the fourth on the side. I think I had the fourth one on the side a little bit yesterday. Can't ending that. Damn it. Rough game. Could maybe mulligan. Obviously, like our top of our library was just abysmal. And they binding the one thing. They binding the one thing that just doesn't matter to Wear Tear. Okay, so 3-2 that league, 4-1-3-2, still a pretty good record on the day. Let's do another one. Open a Scalding Tarn. Let's do another one and change the sideboard a little bit. Kind of went to mirror. I'm pretty happy with the main deck at the moment. But we played against so many like just non-creature decks today. We played against only one Cascade deck as well. Maybe I'm just not supposed to have these Orvars in the sideboard. You play like one Moonlight. Yeah, we'll plan to play Orb tomorrow. Yeah, I feel like the Hope. Maybe it actually kind of it gives you extra splash damage against the.